Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. That made me feel so mainstream. Oh my gosh. Today I am going to be tier ranking popular YA series. Alright, so for this video I will be ranking only series that I've read at least one book because I didn't think it'd be fair to rank series I've never read. Okay. So here we go. Here are my tiers. I'm going to start off by explaining each one. So the first tier is the goddess tier, which is the top of the top. It's like you may have seen God tier, but we're being feminist today and every day. So goddess tier it is. Next up is amazing, and that is for the books that are amazing, but they don't quite fit into that goddess tier level. Next up we have pretty good, which is like, yeah, it's good. Does it deserve the hype? Maybe, maybe not. It's pretty good. Next we have meh. And that's for the books where I was like, it was good. I don't understand why it's so hyped. It exists, you know? And then we have ew. And that's for the books where I'm like, what the heck? Why do people like this? I do not understand, cannot fathom why people enjoy this. And or the author and the book is problematic. So here we go. So first up we have the selection. If you don't know, I'm obsessed with the selection. I recently just finished my 7th reread of the series. It is absolutely my comfort book. I read it probably every single year. I am obsessed with it. So this one's gonna go in goddess tier. And keep in mind that these are my personal preferences, my personal ratings. It is really not about how much of a literary masterpiece these books are, but just about how much I personally enjoy them. And this is all fun and games, so don't get mad if I don't like your favorite books. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just sharing my opinions, as people do on the YouTube. All right, next up we have The Lightning Thief, which is the first book in the Percy Jackson series. And for this one, I'm going to be only ranking the first 5 Percy Jackson books. So that's Lightning Thief through Lost Olympian. I'm not counting the Heroes of Olympus or any of the other series. I'm just doing Percy Jackson because I feel like that's the most popular. So this one also definitely has to go in goddess tier, considering I am hosting my own Percy Jackson themed readathon. You all know I'm obsessed with it. I live mentally at Camp Half-Blood 24/7. So goddess tier it is. All right, next up we have Divergent. And I read Divergent and was obsessed with it when I was in 6th or 7th grade. And then I tried to reread it when I was a sophomore 2 years ago. And I just could not understand why I even liked it in the first place. I was just like, what is happening? Why did I enjoy this? And I ended up donating all of my books because I was just like, I'm just never going to read them, you know? So this one's going to go in meh, because I would put it in ew, except for that I was really, really obsessed with it when I first read it. So I feel like it has to go in meh. But yeah, if I read it now, I DNF'd it when I tried to read it again, so. All right, next up we have The Hunger Games, and this one is going into amazing because I love The Hunger Games. It's not quite up there with the selection and Percy Jackson, and I'm going to be honest with you, I like the movies better than the books. Oh my gosh, a book nerd sin. But I still love the books, but I just think the movies are so much better, and I think they really did a very good job at getting as much of the books into the movies as possible. And I just think they have Jennifer Lawrence. How could you not enjoy that? I really just think that The Hunger Games as a whole translates better to me in movie format than it does in book format. So yeah, but I do still love the books and I enjoy them a lot. So there you go. All right, next up we have Throne of Glass, and this is where I'm going to get controversial. Go ahead, you can hate me. I don't care. Now, I know you're thinking, Julia, you literally have the entire series right behind you. What the hell? Yes, I do have the entire series right behind you. Let me tell you, once again, I was obsessed with this when I was in middle school, but since I was a young, spry, innocent middle schooler, several, many, countless issues have been brought to my attention about this author and about this series. I talk about this a lot on my Instagram, and I have a highlight on there if you want to learn more about it. It's called SJM, and if that still doesn't help you, you can DM me politely, please be nice, and I will elaborate, and we can have a respectful, kind conversation about it. I just don't really want to get into it. I did keep my books because they meant a lot to me when I was a kid, and I still love the world. I just have to put it in ew because the author and some of the issues with the book does not sit right with me. So I keep the books for sentimental value, but I really try not to promote them or the author, anything like that. That being said, we can just stick Court of Thorns and Roses right in there as well. Now, I do own these books as well, but I'm definitely going to donate them the next time I do a big unhaul. They're right there, but yeah, I just don't want them on my shelf anymore. So the next time I go through and figure out which books I don't want anymore, those will be in that pile and they will be donated because I don't want them. Again, the author has some problematic stuff. Also, those books are incredibly explicit for something that was marketed as YA, which I find disgusting and harmful and problematic because I read them when I was in middle school. I cannot believe I read that when I was 13 years old because sometimes, like, I think about it and I'm like, I don't even know if I could read that now. Like, it's kind of gross, okay? I read that when I was 13 because it was marketed to me. Like, that's really bad, you guys. And the same issues with Throne of Glass exist in A Court of Thorns and Roses. Again, you can DM me nicely and I will tell you all about it. Please don't be mean in the comments to me or to anybody else who's trying to spread the word and to, educate and whatever. Please be nice when you're trying to educate people, and if you don't agree, then you know where the unsubscribe button is. Okay, next up, City of Bones. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. Everyone's gonna get mad at me right now. Listen, you guys, I love Shadowhunter World. I don't know if you guys know, I obviously did a whole vlog for Chain of Iron. I literally love it, but the Mortal Instruments, it's not good. The writing is not great, the characters are not great. I am part of the Clary Frey dislike club. I don't want to say hate club. I don't hate her. I think she's awesome and badass, and I think she deals with a lot of stuff, but she's really freaking annoying, and every time she's in the book, gets on my nerves so much. I'm just like, no one cares about you, Clary. I'm so sorry, that was so heated. I'm so glad I read them because they introduced me to this amazing world that has meant so much to me, but that particular series is not great. I don't like it. I put it in meh because of what it led to for me. Yeah, and especially the incest plot. No. Okay, next up, Clockwork Angel. Now this is the first book in the Infernal Devices series, which is another Shadowhunters series if you don't know. This one's going right up to the top in Goddess tier. You guys, I cry every time I read this series. I know what's happening. I know what comes in the epilogue of the last book. I sob my eyes out every time. The last time I reread that series was like back in March, like during the first quarantine, like a year ago. And I remember reading it at like 3 in the morning, reading that epilogue and just sobbing, literally sobbing. I read that series in like 2 days when I reread it that time, and oh my god, it destroys me every time. It's so good. Anyway, next up is Illuminae. Okay, hi, this is editing Julia here with significantly shorter hair. But I just want to say, this next book I talk about, Illuminae, this video was filmed before I knew about Jay Kristoff and all of his issues and all of that stuff. If you want to know more about it, there's an Instagram account at Bookish You Should Know, and they have some posts about J. Kristoff and also some other authors that are problematic. But I just want to say this video was filmed before I knew any of that. If I was to film it today, I would definitely put this in ew, or probably not even include it in this list. But just keep that in mind when you watch it. I just want to say, if you're going to read Illuminae, or any of J. Kristoff's books, please try to buy them secondhand if you can, or read EPUBs online, get them from your library. Just don't give him any money because he is a disgusting human being. Okay, thank you for listening. Back to the video. I have not finished this series. I only read the first 2 books, but I do have a copy of the last book, and I'm going to get to it really soon, I promise. This one's gonna go in amazing. It's not quite up there in God tier with the rest, but it is so good. This is one of those books where I wish I could go back and read it for the first time again, because all the twists and turns, just the genius of the authors astounds me, and I wish I could read it for the first time without knowing what's gonna happen again, because it was amazing. It's, if you don't know, it's big. Like, it is large. It's over 600 pages, I'm pretty sure. Okay, 599. It's got 599 pages. I read this in one day. It was so freaking good. It was so good. It's also told in mixed media, so it's like pretty quick to read it. And I really just could not put it down. So that goes in amazing. It would be in Goddess tier, but it's just not quite up there with the classics, you know? All right, next up, Legend by Marie Lu. I have read all 3 of these, and I read them back in middle school, and I really, really, really want to reread them again because they're amazing. And this one goes in Goddess tier because, you guys, I've read this book once in 6th or 7th grade. I read them. I still have my copies, and they are on my mind 24/7. 6 years later, I'm still thinking about them all the time. Like, that's freaking amazing. It's just great. They're great. They're amazing. Yeah, sometimes I think about what happens at the end and I just start crying. Anyway, all right, next up we have Serpent and Dove, and this is, I believe it's going to be a trilogy. The last book is not out yet, but the cover was just released and it's gorgeous. I read Serpent and Dove when it first came out, and I absolutely loved it. So when Blood and Honey was coming out, I pre-ordered it. I got the fairy loot box. I was so freaking excited. And then I DNF'd it. I didn't even make it to page 100, you guys, because I realized that I hate read. And I just don't really care about the story. And I was just like... So I DNF'd Blood and Honey. So I'm going to take into account the fact that I absolutely love Serpent and Dove, and the account that I DNF'd Blood and Honey, and also the fact that I've heard a lot of things being said about the author and how she named and described the only person of color in her books, who was named Coco. Let that sink in for a moment. Anyway, we're gonna put this one in meh because of that. I did love Serpent and Dove, like I said, but I did DNF Blood and Honey, and also the issues that have been explained to me, and yeah, I won't be buying or reading the 3rd book. Okay, next up we have Shadow and Bone, and I absolutely loved that trilogy. If you don't know, I have a whole spoiler-filled vlog of that trilogy. I read it in one weekend. I had the time of my freaking life. I'll link it up above and down below if you want to check that out. It is filled with spoilers, so if you haven't read Shadow and Bone, don't do that. But if you have, that is a really fun time. I absolutely loved that trilogy, and I fell into such an intense book hangover afterwards, and I'm still not out of it, I gotta be honest. Anyway, we're gonna put this one in amazing. Once again, it's not quite up there with the Goddess tier books, but it's so close. It's so close. Just Rune and Rising, it ruined it for me. I'm not gonna lie. That book kind of sucked. Anyway, now here's where people are gonna get mad at me. Next up we have Six of Crows. Now I want you all to keep in mind that I haven't read Crooked Kingdom yet. I've only read Six of Crows. So with that being said, yeah, I'm ranking it below Shadow and Bone. If you haven't seen my highly controversial reel on Instagram and / TikTok, it's introduce yourself with your worst book talk confession, and mine is that Shadow and Bone is better than Six of Crows. I liked it better. I don't know, I just enjoyed the story better. I know a lot of people hate Alina. I really don't understand why. I absolutely love Alina. I think she's the freaking best. And yeah, I don't really understand why people love Six of Crows so much. Like, it was good, but it was just good. I gave it 3 stars. And then after I read Shadow and Bone, I went back and read it again, and I still didn't understand why people love it so much. I don't know. I am excited to read Crooked Kingdom because Six of Crows was really good, but I just don't understand the hype, and Shadow and Bone was definitely better. So you can go ahead and get mad at me in the comments. Moving on. Next up, we have To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and this one goes right up top in Goddess tier. That trilogy, I've read all 3 of them multiple times. That is one of my comfort books, just like The Selection. I absolutely love it. I love the movies. The movies are not the most accurate thing ever, but the vibe, like, it's not very accurate to the book, but the vibes of the movie and the vibes of the book are exactly the same. And so, yeah, that they just have, like, impeccable vibes. So cozy. I absolutely adore Laura Jean, and yeah, they're my comfort books. And I am planning to do something very exciting, rereading and rewatching the movies. So keep your eyes out for that probably in May. That will be coming at you. Anyway, next up we have Cinder, and this is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I have read all of the Lunar Chronicles books. I have not read the extra, like, novellas and short stories, though. I've only read the actual books. So this one is gonna go in amazing. I absolutely love this series. I love the characters. However, the middle 2 books are not great. I love Cinder and I love Winter, like the books, not the characters. And although I love the characters too, but I hated Scarlet. I love the character Scarlet. I just did not enjoy her book very much. Cress was okay. I don't like the character Cress that much, so her book was just meh. So yeah, that's why it's not in Goddess tier, but it is still so good. If you're looking for an amazing sci-fi series that doesn't really feel too sci-fi, but it definitely has some sci-fi elements. The main character is a cyborg. Every book is a retelling of some of your favorite fairy tales: Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White. And they're just worked in there seamlessly. It's amazing, and the romances are so cute. Well, the 2 of the romances are so cute. The last romance that I wanted to happen did not occur because it was gay, and the author just decided to make everybody straight. So that was disappointing. Anyway, moving on. Shatter Me. Shatter Me, I feel like, is one of the staples of YA. Like, it's one of the classics, and I loved it, the first 3 books. However, I do believe that the series should have ended with the first 3. I did read the 4th, and I was like, all right. And then I read the 5th, and I was like, that wasn't great. So then I never picked up the 6th book. So it's just like, I don't really care anymore. But I'm going to put it in pretty good, keeping that in mind. Now, if I was only ranking the first 3, it definitely would be up and amazing, but I do have to take into account those other ones. All right, so now our last book, An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I have this one right here. I have only read the first 2 books in this series. I am super excited to get to the last 2. I really, really am. I'm just terrified to read them because I don't want it to end, and that is really the only reason I haven't picked them up yet. So keep that in mind when I share my rating, that I've only read the first 2. So that being said, I'm gonna put this in I'm debating between pretty good and amazing, because the first book was definitely in amazing, but the second book was not so great. I'm gonna put it in amazing. I'm gonna put it in amazing because I think overall that, like, the world, the writing, the series, the characters, it deserves to be an amazing, and I'm pretty sure that once I read these last two books, I will agree with myself. So those are my tiers. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below if you agree with my ratings. Where would you place some of these books? Anything like that, any reactions, any whatever. I love talking to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up. It really does help me out. I don't know if you guys know this, but thumbs up on YouTube is kind of like liking a post on Instagram, and the more that you guys thumbs up my video, the more YouTube will push my video to new viewers, and the more viewers I will get. So it actually really does help me out a lot if you guys could hit that. And if you're not subscribed and you like this video, please hit the subscribe button so that you can see every video I make. And if you never want to miss a video from me, make sure you hit the bell down there to get notified every single time I post a video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tier ranking video. If you made it all the way to the end, put a yellow heart emoji in the comments so I know that you're a real one. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day or night.